First contact and misunderstanding. The vast expanse of space had always called to humanity, a siren song of endless possibility. But on that fateful day in 2147, as the research vessel Curiosity drifted through the Kuiper Belt, no one aboard could have imagined the chain of events they were about to set in motion. Dr. Samara Patel squinted at her console, frowning at the anomalous readings. "Captain, I'm picking up some strange energy signatures. They don't match anything in our database." Captain Wei Chen leaned over her shoulder, his weathered face creasing with interest. "Origin." "That's the thing," Samara replied, tapping furiously at her holographic interface. "It seems to be coming from, well, nowhere and everywhere." Suddenly, the ship shuddered. Alarms blared as a blinding light engulfed the Curiosity. When it faded, the crew found themselves face to face with the impossible, a massive alien vessel that seemed to have materialized out of thin air. "By all that's holy," breathed Chen, his eyes wide. First contact. The alien ship was a marvel of engineering, all sleek lines and shimmering, iridescent metal. It dwarfed the Curiosity, making the human vessel look like a toy by comparison. A beam of light shot out from the alien craft, enveloping the Curiosity. The humans braced themselves, unsure if this was a scan or an attack. To their surprise, a holographic figure materialized on their bridge. A tall, slender being with 4 arms and skin that seemed to shift colors like a living mood ring. "Greetings, explorers," the alien spoke, its voice a melodious hum that seemed to bypass their ears and resonate directly in their minds. "I am Ambassador Zixlar of the Galactic Coalition. We have been observing your species for some time and have decided it is time to make formal contact." The crew of the Curiosity exchanged stunned glances. This was beyond their wildest dreams or nightmares. Captain Chen stepped forward, his voice steady despite the gravity of the situation. "I am Captain Wei Chen of the Earth research vessel Curiosity. We come in peace and welcome this opportunity for dialogue between our peoples." Zlexler's skin rippled with hues of blue and green. "We are pleased by your receptiveness. However, we must address a matter of grave concern. Our long-range scans have detected a highly unstable and dangerous element on your homeworld. We believe you call it democracy." The silence that followed was deafening. Samara's brow furrowed in confusion. "I'm sorry, but I think there's been a misunderstanding. Democracy isn't an element, it's a system of government." The alien's skin flashed a deep crimson. "You misunderstand. We have observed the chaos and conflict this democracy breeds. The constant shifts in power, the divisiveness, the inefficiency. It is a plague that threatens the stability of this sector of the galaxy." Chen's face hardened. "With all due respect, Ambassador, democracy is the cornerstone of our civilization. It's not perfect, but it allows for the free exchange of ideas and the protection of individual rights." Zlexler's form seemed to grow larger, looming over the human crew. "Your attachment to this flawed system is regrettable, but not unexpected. The Galactic Coalition has dealt with such resistance before. We had hoped for voluntary compliance, but it seems more direct measures will be necessary." The alien's hologram flickered and vanished. Outside, the massive ship began to pulse with energy. "Captain," Samara called out, her voice tight with fear. "I'm detecting multiple smaller craft launching from the alien vessel. They're on an intercept course with Earth." Chen's jaw clenched. "Send an emergency transmission to Earth Command. All hands, battle stations. It looks like humanity's first interstellar war is about to begin." As the Curiosity raced back towards Earth, its crew knew they were carrying a warning that would change the course of human history forever. The aliens had come not in peace, but with the intention of saving humanity from itself by any means necessary. Little did the Galactic Coalition know, they were about to learn why picking a fight with humans was a grave mistake. For in the face of existential threat, humanity's greatest strength would be unleashed, the indomitable spirit of freedom and the relentless ingenuity born of democratic thought. The stage was set for a conflict that would shake the very foundations of the galaxy, and at its heart, a simple misunderstanding about the nature of human governance would ignite a war that would make the aliens rue the day they ever heard the word democracy. The Galactic Coalition's invasion begins. The skies over Earth erupted in chaos as the Galactic Coalition's invasion force descended. Sleek, dart-like ships pierced the atmosphere, their hulls glowing with an otherworldly energy that seemed to repel all conventional weapons. In the White House Situation Room, President Adira Kaur stood surrounded by her top military advisors, her face grim as she watched the holographic display of Earth's defenses crumbling. Madam President, General Marcus Reeves reported, his voice tight with tension, "Our missiles are having no effect. Their shields are unlike anything we've ever encountered." Kaur's eyes narrowed. "What about the orbital defense platforms?" "Neutralized within the first 5 minutes of engagement," Reeves replied. "We're effectively blind up there." Outside, the alien ships began to deploy what looked like massive, floating crystals over major cities. As they activated, an eerie calm settled over the populated areas beneath them. Dr. Elias Vega, the nation's top xenobiologist, burst into the room, his lab coat askew. "Madam President, we've figured out what those crystals are doing. They're not weapons. There's some kind of mass pacification device." "Explain," Kaur demanded. Vega pulled up a series of brain scans on the holo display. "They're emitting a field that suppresses aggression and independent thought. People under their influence become compliant, suggestible." The room fell silent as the implications sank in. The aliens weren't here to annihilate humanity, they wanted to reprogram them. "So much for their concerns about democracy," Kaur muttered. "This is nothing short of mental enslavement." In orbit, aboard the Galactic Coalition's command ship, Ambassador Zix Laur observed the unfolding invasion with a mixture of satisfaction and puzzlement. His eyed, Kralnox approached with a report. "The pacification crystals are functioning at 87% efficiency," Kralnox stated. "However, we're encountering anomalies." Zexler's skin rippled with curiosity. "Elaborate." "Some humans seem resistant to the effects," Kralnox explained, "and in some areas, we're detecting underground movements organizing resistance." "Impossible," Zexler scoffed. "No species has ever resisted the pacification field before." Back on Earth, in a hidden bunker beneath the Rocky Mountains, a group of scientists, soldiers, and civilians had gathered. Among them was Dr. Samara Patel, the astrophysicist from the Curiosity. "The aliens don't understand what they're dealing with," Samara explained to the assembled group. "They see our disagreements, our political divisions as weakness. But it's our greatest strength." Captain Y. Chen, who had managed to land the Curiosity and join the resistance, nodded in agreement. "Our ability to question, to debate, to challenge ideas, it's made our minds more flexible, more resistant to outside control." A young hacker named Zach chimed in, his fingers flying over a holographic keyboard. "I've been analyzing their communication protocols. They're advanced, but they're also rigid, predictable. I think I can exploit that." In cities around the world, pockets of resistance began to form. People whose minds were naturally more chaotic, creative, or stubborn found themselves immune to the pacification field. Artists, free thinkers, and even those with certain neurological conditions became the unexpected front line in humanity's defense. In New York, a street artist named Lena discovered that she could disrupt the alien crystal's effects by painting certain geometric patterns on buildings. In Tokyo, a group of gamers repurposed their VR rigs to create a mesh network that could communicate undetected by alien surveillance. As the days wore on, the Galactic Coalition found themselves increasingly frustrated. What should have been a simple pacification was turning into a drawn-out guerrilla war. Zixler paced the command deck, his skin flashing angry reds and oranges. How are they doing this? Every simulation showed their society would collapse within days without centralized leadership. Kralnox hesitated before responding. "Sir, I believe we may have miscalculated. Their democracy seems to have instilled a sense of individual responsibility we didn't account for. They're organizing from the bottom up, adapting in ways our hierarchical models can't predict. On the ground, humanity's resistance was gaining momentum. In her bunker, President Kaur received reports of ingenious tactics being employed across the globe. Mirrors and prisms were being used to redirect the pacification beams. Makeshift Faraday cages protected pockets of free thought. And everywhere, the human spirit of innovation was on full display. "We need to buy more time," Kaur announced to her advisors. "Every day we resist, we learn more about their technology, their weaknesses." General Reeves stepped forward. "Madam President, I have a proposal. It's risky, but it might just give us the edge we need." As Reeves outlined his plan, a spark of hope ignited in the room. It was audacious, perhaps even insane, but it was quintessentially human in its boldness. High above, oblivious to the storm brewing beneath them, the Galactic Coalition continued their efforts to subdue a planet that refused to conform to their expectations. They had come to Earth believing they were saving humanity from itself. Instead, they were about to learn a harsh lesson about the power of free will and the indomitable human spirit. The invasion had begun, but the real battle was just getting started. And humanity, with all its beautiful chaos and creativity, was ready to show the galaxy why freedom was worth fighting for. Humanity's unconventional tactics. As dawn broke over a world in turmoil, humanity's resistance began to take shape in ways the Galactic Coalition could never have anticipated. The aliens' superior technology was being met with something far more unpredictable: human ingenuity. In the hidden Rocky Mountain bunker, Zack the hacker had made a breakthrough. "I've cracked it," he exclaimed, his eyes wild with excitement. Their communication systems, they're based on quantum entanglement, but with a fatal flaw. Dr. Salnura Patel leaned in, her scientific curiosity piqued. "What kind of flaw?" Zack grinned. "They're too perfect, too orderly. I can introduce a chaos factor that'll make their systems go haywire." Captain Wei Chen nodded approvingly. "Like fighting a supercomputer with a box of dice." "Brilliant." Across the globe, similar scenes of unconventional problem-solving were playing out. In Mumbai, a group of Bollywood stunt performers had discovered that their acrobatic skills allow them to navigate between the alien sensor grids undetected. They began running a covert supply line, keeping resistance cells stocked with food and information. In Rio de Janeiro, a carnival costume designer named Isabella had an epiphany while looking at her sequined creations. "The aliens track our heat signatures," she mused. "But what if we could mask them?" Within days, resistance fighters were donning shimmering bodysuits that scattered their thermal output, making them nearly invisible to alien scanners. The sight of guerrilla fighters in glittering carnival gear became a symbol of hope, and a source of utter bafflement for the invaders. Meanwhile, in the Sahara Desert, a nomadic Tuareg tribe had found an unexpected advantage. Their traditional lifestyle, unburdened by modern technology, made them naturally resistant to the aliens' electronic warfare. They became crucial scouts and messengers, moving between resistance strongholds with ease. Back in Washington, D.C., now under the shadow of a massive alien crystal, President Kaur was putting General Reeves' audacious plan into action. It was a plan so crazy, it just might work, because no logical alien mind would ever see it coming. "Are you sure about this, Madam President?" Reeves asked, concern etched on his face. Kaur's eyes glinted with determination. "In times like these, General, audacity is our best weapon. Proceed." High above the Earth, aboard the Galactic Coalition's command ship, Ambassador Zix Lal was growing increasingly agitated. His skin pulsed with angry reds and purples as he received yet another perplexing report. "What do you mean, the humans are dancing?" he demanded. Krelnox, his aide, looked equally confused. "It appears to be some sort of global phenomenon, sir. Millions of humans are engaging in synchronized rhythmic movements." Our pacification fields seem to have no effect on them while they're in motion. Unbeknownst to the aliens, this was Phase 1 of Operation Footloose, a plan that capitalized on the human ability to find joy and unity even in the darkest times. Flash mobs erupted in cities worldwide, with humans dancing in perfect synchronization to music only they could hear, thanks to subcutaneous audio implants developed by a team led by Dr. Vega. The dancing served multiple purposes. It boosted morale, confused the aliens, and most importantly, generated a massive amount of erratic energy that interfered with the aliens' sensors and communication systems. But this was just the beginning. As the aliens scrambled to make sense of the dancing phenomenon, Phase 2 kicked in. Around the world, in perfect coordination, millions of people simply vanished. Zexlar stared in disbelief at the suddenly empty cities. This is impossible. Where did they go? The answer lay deep underground. Years ago, as a contingency against nuclear war, many nations had constructed vast subterranean shelters. These had been secretly expanded and connected, creating a hidden world beneath the surface. While the aliens had been focused on the dancers above, millions had slipped away into this underground network. In New York, Lena the street artist led a team painting massive murals on the walls of the underground city. But these weren't just for morale. The patterns, when viewed under specific light frequencies, revealed crucial information about alien weaknesses, readable only by those who knew the code. In Tokyo, the Gamers VR network had evolved into a sophisticated command and control system, allowing the resistance to coordinate on a global scale right under the aliens' noses. And in orbit, a small team of astronauts who had been stranded on the International Space Station were preparing for their part in the plan, a daring spacewalk to plant Zach's chaos-inducing code directly into the alien mothership's hull. As Operation Footloose unfolded, the Galactic Coalition found themselves facing an enemy they couldn't understand. Human unpredictability, creativity, and resilience were proving to be more formidable than any weapon. Zexler, his skin now a sickly mix of confused colors, turned to Krelnox. "I don't understand. Their civilization should be crumbling. Instead, they're thriving in chaos. How is this possible?" Krelnox, who had been studying human history, replied softly, "Sir, I believe we may have fundamentally misunderstood the nature of their democracy. It's not just a system of government, it's a mindset, one that encourages adaptation, individual thinking, and collective action without central control." As the aliens grappled with this realization, humanity prepared for its next move. The dance was over, but the real performance was just beginning. In hidden bunkers, underground cities, and even in the void of space, humans stood ready to show the galaxy why free will was the most powerful force in the universe. The tide was turning, and the Galactic Coalition was about to learn that trying to subdue humanity was like trying to catch smoke with bare hands. The tighter you grasp, the more it slips away. The turning point. As Operation Footloose entered its final phase, the Galactic Coalition found itself in unprecedented disarray. Their once impeccable invasion strategy had devolved into a chaotic scramble to regain control. Aboard the IS, American astronaut Dr. Eva Rodriguez and her Russian colleague, cosmonaut Dmitry Volkov, prepared for their perilous mission. They had one shot at planting Zach's chaos-inducing code directly onto the alien mothership's hull. "Ready for a spacewalk like no other, Dmitry?" Eva asked, her voice tight with nervous energy. Dmitry grinned, his weathered face creasing. "In Soviet Russia, spacewalks you dare." As they stepped into the airlock, Eva couldn't help but marvel at the absurdity of their situation. Two humans, armed with nothing but a specially designed data chip and their wits, were about to take on the most advanced spaceship in the galaxy. Meanwhile, deep in the underground network beneath Paris, President Kaur was coordinating with resistance leaders from around the world. The subterranean command center buzzed with activity, holographic displays showing real-time updates from every continent. The aliens are concentrating their forces over major population centers, reported General Reeves. They're trying to flush out the resistance. Kaur nodded grimly. Then it's time for Phase 3. Give the signal. Across the globe, in a perfectly synchronized move, millions of humans emerged from their underground havens. But they didn't come out fighting. Instead, they came out partying. In Times Square, a massive rave erupted, with revelers dancing to music pumped through hidden speakers. In Rio, an impromptu carnival parade filled the streets. In Tokyo, an unknown-themed cosplay festival materialized out of nowhere. The aliens, already confused by the earlier global dance-off, were completely baffled by this new development. Their pacification crystals, designed to suppress aggression and independent thought, had no effect on the joyous celebrations. Aboard the mothership, Ambassador Zix-Law watched in bewilderment as his invasion force was effectively neutralized by an outbreak of global festivities. "This defies all logic," he exclaimed, his skin cycling through a rainbow of confused colors. "How can they resist our technology through mere frivolity?" Krelnox, who had been deep in study of human culture, offered a hesitant explanation. "Sir, it appears that human emotions, particularly positive ones, generate neural patterns that our pacification field can't suppress. In essence, their joy is acting as a shield." As the aliens grappled with this revelation, Eva and Mitri made their move. Using the mothership's own blind spots, they maneuvered close to its hull. With precision born of years of training, Eva planted the data chip. "Package delivered," she whispered into her comm. Back in the Rocky Mountain bunker, Zach's fingers flew over his keyboard, initiating Chaos Protocol. Now. The effect was instantaneous and spectacular. The alien mothership's exterior lights began to flicker erratically. Its perfect geometric shape started to warp and shift, as if seen through a funhouse mirror. Inside, the ship's systems went haywire. Gravity reversed in some sections, while others experienced time dilation. The once orderly alien crew found themselves in a maddening labyrinth of their own technology gone wrong. Zixlar clung to his command chair as the world turned upside down around him. Literally. "What is happening?" he cried out. Krelnox, somehow managing to stay composed, explained, "It appears the humans have introduced a random variable into our quantum systems. Our technology is based on perfect order. They've injected chaos into the equation." On Earth, the resistance seized the moment. As the alien forces fell into disarray, teams of hackers led by Zach began dismantling the pacification crystals one by one. Street artists like Lena painted massive murals that, when viewed from orbit, acted as signal scramblers for alien communications. In a particularly inspired move, a group of marine biologists in Australia had trained pods of dolphins to disrupt the aliens' underwater sensors, turning the oceans into safe zones for human naval forces. As the tide of battle turned, President Kaur received a transmission from the IS. Eva's face appeared on the holographic display, her expression a mix of exhaustion and triumph. "Madame President," she reported, "we've done it. The alien mothership is crippled." But, she hesitated, "we've also made a discovery. Their ship's database, it's filled with information about other species they've pacified. We're not the first, but we might be the last if we play this right." Kaur's eyes narrowed with determination. "Understood, Doctor. You've given us an opportunity, and we're going to make the most of it." With the alien command structure in chaos and their forces on Earth in retreat, humanity had achieved the impossible. They had repelled an invasion by a vastly superior technological force through sheer creativity, adaptability, and the unbreakable human spirit. But as the cheers of victory began to rise from the celebrating crowds, President Kaur and her advisors knew that the real challenge was just beginning. They had beaten back the invasion, but now they had to figure out how to deal with a galaxy full of potential threats and potential allies. As the sun set on the first day of Earth's victory, humanity stood on the brink of a new era. They had proven themselves on a galactic stage, and the universe would never be the same. The Galactic Coalition had come to Earth to end democracy. Instead, they had given it a chance to flourish on a cosmic scale. The next chapter of human history was about to begin, and it promised to be wilder than anyone could have imagined. Alien perspective and fear. In the aftermath of humanity's unexpected victory, the Galactic Coalition found itself in an unprecedented state of crisis. For the first time in its long history of pacifying worlds, the Coalition had not only failed, but had been soundly defeated by a species they had considered primitive. Aboard the crippled mothership, now drifting in a decaying orbit around Earth, Ambassador Zixlar sat in what remained of the command center. The once pristine chamber was now a mess of flickering holograms and malfunctioning equipment, a testament to the chaos humans had wrought on their systems. "I still don't understand," Zixlar muttered, his skin a mottled pattern of confused blues and greens. "How could they have done this?" Krelnox, who had become something of an expert on human behavior over the course of the invasion, stepped forward. "Sir, I believe our fundamental mistake was in our initial assessment of human democracy." "Explain," Zixlar demanded, his forearms gesticulating in frustration. "We saw their system as chaotic, inefficient, and divisive," Krelnox began. "But we failed to recognize that this very chaos is the source of their strength. Their constant disagreements, their challenges to authority, their individual freedoms, all of these things have made them incredibly adaptable and creative." As if to punctuate Krelnox's point, a nearby console suddenly sprang to life, projecting an image of Times Square. The aliens watched in bewilderment as humans continued to celebrate their victory, the jubilant crowd a riot of color and motion. "Look at them," Krelnox continued. "In the face of what should have been certain defeat, they responded with joy, creativity, unity in diversity. Our pacification fields were designed to create order, but they thrive in disorder." Zlexler's skin pulsed with a deep, worried purple. "Are you saying they're immune to our methods?" "Not immune, sir," Krelnox corrected, "but resistant in a way we've never encountered before. Their minds are flexible. They question everything, even their own beliefs. It makes them hard to predict, hard to control." On another screen, they watched as human scientists began to examine a captured alien craft. Within hours, the humans had not only deciphered its operating principles, but had started to improve upon its design. "By the cosmic core," Zixlar breathed. "They learn so quickly." "And they share information freely," Krelnox added. "Their internet allows ideas to spread and evolve at an alarming rate. It's chaotic, yes, but also incredibly effective." As they watched, reports began to come in from other coalition ships. The human victory hadn't just been on Earth. Their chaos code had spread through the entire coalition fleet, crippling ships as far as the edge of the solar system. "We're receiving transmissions from the homeworld," a junior officer reported, his voice shaking. They're asking how a Class 3 civilization managed to defeat our entire invasion force." Zlexlar slumped in his chair. "What do we tell them?" Krelnox's expression was grim. "The truth, sir, that we gravely underestimated the humans, that their democracy, far from being a weakness, might be the most formidable weapon we've ever encountered." As this realization sank in, fear began to spread through the coalition forces. They had come to Earth confident in their technological superiority, only to be outmaneuvered by human unpredictability and ingenuity. On planets across the galaxy, news of the Coalition's defeat began to spread. Species that had long lived under Coalition rule began to whisper out the humans who had done the impossible. Earth became a symbol of resistance, a beacon of hope for those who yearned for freedom. Back on Earth, in a secure bunker, President Kaur and her advisors were reviewing the information retrieved from the alien mothership. "It's worse than we thought," Dr. Vega reported. "The Coalition has been systematically suppressing developing civilizations across the galaxy. They see free will as a threat to cosmic order." General Rees leaned forward, his face grim. "So, what's our next move? We've won the battle, but we're still technologically outmatched on a galactic scale." President Kor's eyes gleamed with determination. "We do what humans do best. We adapt, we innovate, and we show the galaxy that freedom and diversity aren't threats. They're the key to progress." As Earth prepared for its new role on the galactic stage, the Galactic Coalition grappled with a terrifying new reality. They had encountered a species that not only resisted their methods of control, but seemed to thrive in the face of adversity. For the first time in eons, the Coalition felt fear. Fear of the unpredictable, of the chaotic, of the free. Fear of a species that had taken their most advanced technology and turned it against them with nothing more than human ingenuity and spirit. As reports of Earth's victory spread across the stars, a new term entered the galactic lexicon: pulling a human to succeed against impossible odds through sheer audacity and unconventional thinking. The age of coalition dominance was over. A new era was dawning, one in which the human spirit of freedom and innovation would challenge the very foundations of galactic society. And in hidden chambers across the coalition worlds, leaders whispered a new maxim: beware the humans. In chaos, they find strength. In diversity, unity. And in the face of tyranny, they will always, always fight. Resolution and aftermath. 5 years had passed since the day Earth repelled the Galactic Coalition's invasion. The planet had changed dramatically, transformed by the influx of alien technology and the newfound awareness of humanity's place in the cosmos. In the gleaming halls of the newly constructed United Earth Embassy in New York, President Adara Kor stood before a diverse assembly of human and alien dignitaries. The room buzzed with a mix of excitement and tension as representatives from across the galaxy gathered for this historic moment. "Fellow sentients," Kor began, her voice carrying the weight of humanity's recent trials and triumphs. "Today marks a new chapter not just for Earth, but for the entire galaxy. We stand here not as conquerors, but as partners in a grand experiment of cosmic cooperation." Among the audience, Ambassador Zix Law shifted uncomfortably. In the years since the failed invasion, he had become Earth's reluctant liaison to the fragmented remains of the Galactic Coalition. His once vibrant skin now displayed a perpetual mix of cautious grays and curious blues. Kor continued, "The attempted subjugation of Earth taught us all a valuable lesson. Diversity is not a weakness to be suppressed, but a strength to be celebrated. The very chaos that the coalition feared has proven to be the catalyst for unprecedented growth and innovation." On cue, holographic displays activated around the room, showcasing Earth's remarkable advancements. Fusion reactors powered by technology reverse-engineered from alien ships. Terraforming projects turning Mars into a second home for humanity. Faster-than-light communication systems that had already begun to reshape galactic society. Dr. Samira Patel, now head of Earth's Xenotechnology Division, stepped forward to narrate the presentation. "By combining coalition technology with human creativity, we've achieved in 5 years what might have taken centuries. But more importantly, we've done so while maintaining our commitment to individual liberty and democratic values." In the years following the invasion, Earth had become a beacon for species across the galaxy who yearned for freedom. The planet had opened its arms to refugees and dissidents from coalition worlds, creating a melting pot of galactic cultures that fueled even greater innovation. The galaxy would never be the same again. Zack, the hacker whose chaos code had turned the tide of the invasion, now led a team of multi-species programmers. They had developed a decentralized galactic internet that was virtually immune to censorship or control, allowing the free flow of ideas across the stars. As the presentation concluded, Kor addressed the elephant in the room. "We recognize that our emergence on the galactic stage has caused fear and uncertainty. To some, we may seem unpredictable, even dangerous. But we come offering not conquest, but collaboration." She gestured to a group of alien scientists and diplomats who had defected to Earth. "Already, we've seen the incredible potential of combining diverse perspectives. Together, we've solved problems that have plagued civilizations for millennia. Hunger, disease, scarcity, all are beginning to become relics of the past. In orbit above Earth, the former coalition mothership, now repurposed as a neutral space station, served as a symbol of this new era of cooperation. It housed the Galactic Council, a new governing body where all species, including humans, had an equal voice. As Core's speech neared its end, she addressed the lingering fears directly. To those who still see Earth and its allies as a threat, I say this: our strength lies not in conformity, but in our differences, not in rigid order, but in our ability to find harmony in chaos. We invite you to join us in building a galaxy where freedom and diversity are the cornerstones of progress. The response was a standing ovation that rippled across species barriers. Even Zixelor found himself reluctantly joining in, his skin flickering with newfound hope. As the applause died down, Core made her final proclamation. Today, we announce the formation of the Galactic Federation of Free Worlds, a union founded on the principles of democracy, individual liberty, and mutual respect. Together, we will explore the universe, not to conquer, but to understand, not to suppress, but to elevate. As the assembly broke into discussions and negotiations, Earth's core team reflected on their journey. Captain Wei Chen, now Admiral of Earth's first deep space fleet, summed it up best. 5 years ago, we feared the stars. Now, we're reshaping the very fabric of galactic society. Dr. Vega nodded in agreement, and we did it not by becoming like them, but by being uniquely, chaotically human. Outside the embassy, citizens of Earth and visitors from 100 worlds mingled in the streets of New York. Holographic displays showed similar scenes playing out in cities across the planet. The fear that had gripped the galaxy was giving way to a new emotion: hope. In a quiet moment amid the celebrations, President Core found herself face to face with Zixelor. The former enemies regarded each other silently for a moment. Finally, Zixelor spoke, his voice a mix of resignation and admiration. You humans truly are remarkable. We came to change you, but in the end, you changed us, and the entire galaxy. Core smiled. That's the beauty of democracy and free will, Ambassador. We're all constantly changing, growing, evolving. And now we'll do it together among the stars. As night fell on Earth, its cities glowed with the light of a civilization taking its first steps into a larger universe. The planet that had once been seen as a backward world to be conquered had become the catalyst for a galactic renaissance. The human spirit, adaptable, innovative, and irrepressibly free, had not only saved Earth, but had given the galaxy a new vision of what was possible when diverse minds came together in the pursuit of liberty and progress. And somewhere in the vast cosmic ocean, on worlds yet undiscovered, new civilizations looked to the skies with wonder, hearing whispers of the remarkable species called humans who had dared to rewrite the rules of galactic society. The greatest adventure in human history had only just begun.